Finally, it's over. Hey everybody, this is Cacocord here, and after so long, I can safely say that I have beaten Mega Man 1 in one sitting without taking a hit once. Oh my god, this was... I don't even know what to say at this point. Like, look at the attempt count, look at the total playtime. I think it's pretty easy to see that this was like, by far the hardest thing I've ever done in a game. And also, it probably took me longer than anything else. Like, a single grind, that is. And it was pretty rough. I'm just gonna be straight up. I really don't know what to say, because I'm kinda not, like, I kinda haven't even fully processed that I've done it yet. Well, shit, dude, I don't know what to say. I guess, like, Gutsman stage, let's start there. Let's just start with Gutsman. This is, like, not the best stage to have to do first, but, I mean, it's not like there's really any other viable options that are super good. And the reason it's not the best stage to tackle first is because of this fucker right here, Big Eye. I hate that Big Eye with every, like, fiber of my being, dude. That is, like, why is he a thing? I love having to win a 50% coin. I love having to get, like, win a coin flip in order to get out of the first stage of the game. Because, yup, there's nothing you can do. I've checked. I've, like, looked at videos to make sure that it's not like the thing where, like, you jump in the air and then he always does a high jump. Nope, that's fake. That's not really a thing. That's just a superstition. It is just straight up RNG, and there's nothing you can do about it. And also, right after that, you have to deal with the Guts fight, which isn't, like, straight up you just lose to a coin flip RNG, but it's very, like, luck-based. It's, like, the pattern that you get. I got a pretty, like, manageable pattern here. Like, normally, like, until he gets to, around, like, one jump, like, one left jump of the plot, you're usually fine. Like, up until he gets to, like, if he jumps left one more time, then he'll throw the block. That's a pretty bad situation to be in, and when he's actually on the block with you, that's also not the greatest. And now we're already at cut stage. I'm sorry I'm, like, fumbling over my words so much. I'm just genuinely, like, I haven't fully processed that I'm, like, recording the commentary for this right now. Well, I guess since cut stage is so self-explanatory, this is a pretty good time to explain the grind. Basically, I did this, I think I started this in, like, March or April of 2022? Like, somewhere around there? And I've been going for it on and off since then, which is, a pretty long time for a grind, don't you think? Like, most grinds normally aren't, like, a year long on and off. And most of those grinds normally don't involve, like, a 30-minute long thing. Yeah, I'm kind of like... The grind, like... It kind of, like, went in and out of periods where I was, like, really enjoying it and parts where I just wanted it to be done. Like, there were some times when I was just, like, unable to get out of early game, or, like, towards the end of the grind where, like, early game, as in, like, the first 6 stages, like, all the way up to bomb, was basically just a cutscene that you randomly die into and lost, like, 15 minutes to try and reset or more. It's very, very, very tiring, but I push through. The experience are kinda... because I don't think it's consistent. I don't think the, like, octopus batteries, when they decide to go, like, when they decide to go from, like, one end to the other, I don't think that's consistent. I think it's just RNG, but don't quote me on that. And we're already at the end of Cutman stage while I was talking about really whatever the hell. Yeah, this is a very messy commentary, as you can probably tell. Okay. This Big Eye is fine, because there's a strat for him. The ladder, you just, like, hold on to the ladder the entire time. Wait for him to get around here, and then when his eye is, like, about on line with the lowest rung of the ladder, that's when you drop and hold your eggs. It's pretty consistent, but I don't know if it works if it does a low jump. I just only do it on a high jump because that's what the video I saw showed it for, and I don't want to take my chances learning. And we're at the cut fight. Cut fight usually wasn't too big of a deal, but sometimes he just randomly decided, hey, I'm just gonna fuck you over, and now you have to go back to guts and get out of the RNG fest. What was that voice I just did? Jesus, this is such a scuffed commentary. Later on, I did learn that he has the same thing that Bomb Man has, where if you get close to him, then he's just gonna jump, but I didn't learn that until, like, only a couple days before I finished the thing, so wasn't really that useful in the end, because I barely had any time to use it. I think I got, like, 2 attempts to the refights. I think I got 2 attempts to the cut refights, that's where I even, like, used a different strat for it to take that into account. For like how I just didn't get there it was. And we're on to Elec. Elec is one of those stages where I feel like you'd think it'd be way harder than it actually is when you're actually going into attempts. Because it's like a stage where it's hard to no damage the first time you do it, but after that it's extremely consistent. At the very least, these screens took a while to learn. Once you're at the top of the screen, like, your bullets have a chance of just, like, phasing through the enemy, so you have to do 2 shots to, like, take that into account. And also, generally, you want to shoot, like, something I found that helps is, like, shoot lower than you think you have to. After a while, I just kind of got a feel for it, so I didn't really think about it as much, but I was definitely, like, over-aiming. It's more noticeable on, like, the later screens here. Like, the screen we're about to go into. Like, shoot lower than your brain tells you to shoot. Like don't shoot it where it is when you actually press the shoot button. Shoot it like where it's gonna be by the time it gets there. Like shoot like I normally like aim for like the lower eye to the center, like somewhere around that area. There you can just do that all in one cycle if you just jump up to the top of the ladder, because in this game, if you jump up to the top of the ladder, you just like don't climb it at all, you just like teleport to the top of it. And here we get Magnet Beam. If for some godforsaken reason you want to no-hit this game, please use Magnet Beam whenever you can. It makes everything so much less painful. Like, if you don't want to use it, be my guest, but like, please, just save your sanity. Just use Magnet Beam. It's good, use it. Do you really want to have to deal with footholder RNG? No, you really don't. Just use Magnet Beam. The rest of the stage is pretty self-explanatory. I just Magnet Beam over there just because. Past a certain point, you just get tired of like early game. You just want to find a strat to take it out as quickly as possible. And just use Magnet Beam to completely bypass this big guy. Thanks, whatever in-universe scientist invented this thingy, you're a real one. Here we are in the Elec corridor. There's not really anything to say for the corridor itself. I mean, there's not anything to say for most of the corridors. So I don't know why I pointed out here. But you're probably noticing that I'm sticking to Mega Buster for this. Why is that? Well, for a lot of the Robot Masters, a lot of the strats that I found, I couldn't find a way to get them to work with their weaknesses. So I just opted to buster them. And now, you've probably seen this strat somewhere at this point. If you've been around the block with no damaging Mega Man games, you've seen this. Just shoot when his arms go up, and you're good. You don't really have to worry about it that much. The timing is somewhat strict, but it's not really anything, like, unmanageable. It's fine. I lost a couple attempts to it. Hell, in this attempt session, I lost an attempt to doing that strat during the refights, like, just randomly mistiming an input, but like, that was my PB this session before I got the clear attempts. But really, just put a couple minutes into learning it and you should be fine. Now we're at Iceman stage. This is another one of those stages where I thought this was gonna be the hardest, like, Robot Master stage for the entire grind, but by the end, it got extremely consistent for some reason. I don't know how, but, like, I swear the footholders just stopped giving me bad RNG. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, one day they just flipped the switch and they were like, oh, let's actually let this guy get out of ice. That would be cool. And it was cool. Thanks, footholders, for that one. The start of Ice stage is pretty... The start of the stage is just not really anything to write home about. Just swap to a luck beam and take everything out. And once you jump over this peng, it prevents the rest of them from spawning. So normally there would be other pengs spawning there, but because you jumped over it, for whatever reason, it ends up making it so that the rest of them don't spawn. And the reason you want to do that is because sometimes they can, like, get in a weird spot where, like, they're spawning right by the hole you need to enter. So, like, they'll, like, infinitely be respawning, and it's, like, kind of annoying to have to deal with it. Like, they respawn really quickly whenever that happens. The same thing can happen at the end of Bomb stage with the kilovolts. I forgot that was in the clear attempt where I just completely, like, missed jumping on the magnet tree. I forgot that happened this attempt. And now we're at footholders. This is really just a bunch of improv on, like, when to, like, start using the magnet beam, like, when to go, and, like, when to keep going. I swear it used to be a lot worse with the RNG, where, like, sometimes they would move up. And generally, you want to avoid footholders that are moving up, because footholders are comprised of two parts, basically. The actual enemy and an invisible platform that's right above them. So while it's moving up, there's a chance that you clip through the invisible platform that actually holds you on a footholder, and you just take damage from the actual enemy itself. That happened to me a couple times in 1v1, but I can't remember it happening in Ice, but it's definitely something worth mentioning. Don't jump on upward moving footholders if you can help it. And now for the Ice fights. You notice me stopping in the boss corridor so that I don't accidentally, like, get smacked in the face by a peng spawning right by the door. The fight is pretty simple, but, like, the lag it generates, it can be kind of annoying to, like, time the jump. It's kind of a dumb thing to, like, fail. Like, every time you fail, it's like, man, I really failed Ice the fight, but it's definitely something that's, like, harder than it looks because of the lag that the explosion causes. Took a bit of time on the stage select screen, but fire. Fire is like, I don't know how to word it, but it's like the hardest stage where the difficulty comes from, like, your ability to just execute stuff. Like, it's the hardest stage where everything is, like, for the most part within your control, as opposed to, like, Ice or Guts where sometimes you just lose. And a very important thing to mention, you can kill the tackle fires with... I know you can kill them with Elect, because that's what I did here, but I think you can also kill them with the Buster. I never knew that until, like, midway through the grind, and it made this stage go from, like, I don't even know if I would, like, still be going for this if I didn't know you could kill the tackle fires. They're so annoying to deal with when you don't know you can kill them. But once you can kill them, they're, like, just, they're fine, usually, except for the time when, like, you just jump in a pit where they're coming up from without realizing, and then they just hit you. That killed me a couple times on attempts in next screen. This screen used to be pretty hard, but once you, like, develop better, like, this is a screen where, like, there's a lot of strats you can deal with. I usually just have to freeze the fire pillars, then swap to Elect to kill tackle fires, climb up the ladder, swap to Ice, or swap to Ice after you kill those tackle fires, and then try to freeze it. Freeze that, make sure you don't jump while the tackle fires are going up. That's happened to me a couple times, and you're out. That used to kill a lot more attempts, but now it's mostly fine. It's not really that big of a concern stage. And the final screen. The final screen mostly doesn't have that much annoying stuff going on. It's not until you get to, like, the bottom layer of the screen where stuff really gets annoying. because the killer bullet keeps respawning, and you have to deal with the wonky hitbox on Elec. Because sometimes Elec will just completely twirl over one of those spines, and you just have to like pray that you get the luck that lets it actually hit. Very annoying thing to have to deal with, but it didn't kill that many attempts. It mostly just like spikes your nerves. The firefights, I feel like a lot of people that don't really know this game are gonna be like, oh, how did you do the fireman fight? That fight was so hard for me. He just mashes. Don't mash. Just stand still, hold, jump, and shoot at the same time. Only shoot once at a time, and you're good. That's literally all there is to the fights. The problem with Fireman's AI is that once you know how it works, it's extremely easy to abuse it, but it's very difficult. Like, it's not difficult to find out how it works because you can just look it up, but it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, how are you expected to be able to learn this on your own? Like, thank God for the internet. Thank God you can just look up boss patterns now. I have no clue how Capcom expected kids in the 80s to just figure out that was how that fight works. Bombman stage, even though a lot of people say it's the easiest stage in the game, funnily enough, I found it to be the hardest of like the 6 robot stages once I got to the end of the grind, because there's a lot of inconsistencies with it. For the starting the screen, just like wait until the flea, like only take one flea at a time, then scroll the screen until like right where the flea is gonna spawn, so that you don't have to deal with like a multiple of them on the screen at a time, and it just being completely chaotic. The rest of the screen is fine. Like, there's not really much to write home about. That's kind of a running theme with the Robot Master stages. This game in general is like one of those games where it's like, once you know what you're doing, it's like not the hardest thing in the world, but like finding out what you're supposed to be doing is like way harder than it should be. Here I use a visual cue, like I switch to ice and then I use a visual cue with like that lollipop looking thing in the background. And once I like line up with that, I fire Ice Slasher so that I can just swap the Buster and take it out. It looks like you're gonna get close, but I've never had it fail. Like I've never had him like freeze. Like I've never had him like freeze when he wasn't in the air, and therefore you can just shoot at him. This was the killer bullet I was talking about, where you can just like infinitely respawn at the edge of the screen. So usually I just try to freeze him with ice, so that it doesn't do that. Like find an opportunity where you can freeze it with ice and it won't scroll off the screen, so that you don't have to deal with it, like potentially respawning right by where the ladder is. Because once that happens, it goes off the top of the screen as well. So it will like it keeps respawning and despawning because of like how high up it is on the screen. I can't speak. So like, yeah, it's really not something you want to deal with. And now we're at the second Sniper Joe. I'm really thankful that the Sniper Joes in this stage are placed in like extremely easy to like cheese sections, because these enemies are medicine that you're trying to deal with them straight up. But you can just like mash Rolling Cutter and not even like be remotely in danger. Here I just decide why not and just like drop down. If you hold down jump and you drop down at the very start of the screen where all the Octus batteries are, then you should be fine. If you buffer the input. The bomb fight was kind of annoying late game because, well, the thing with Bomb, his AI works so that like if you run at him, he's going to if you run at Bomb, he's gonna try to jump away. Like most of the time that happens even if he's in the middle of a bomb throw, but sometimes, and I don't know why, he'll just fully commit to the bomb throw and you end up running into him. That ended up killing me on like multiple attempts. And I just decided like, if he's too far away, I'm just gonna let him throw out all of his bombs. And the max bombs you can throw is 3, so like once he throws out 3 bombs, you can just like go back to running at him. And Wily. Wily 1 is probably the second hardest stage on this run. Mostly just because of 2 sections. the footholders, and Yellow Devil. Mostly the footholders, actually, because Yellow Devil is mostly just like... Actually, I'll just explain it when we get there. There's more than enough time to explain, because it's just like... The thing with Yellow Devil is it's just the same pattern 7 times in a row. It's like a consistency test in itself. So as long as you, like, once you're at the point where you can dodge the pattern once, like, the hard part is, like, memorizing the pattern and making it so, like, you can dodge it once without getting hit. But once you get there, you're, like, already, like, over halfway to no damaging the fight. It's fine, but it's mostly just, like, one of those things where, like, it's bad because of nerves, really. So, like, what if you get to the point where, like, you're getting to Wily once so much that you're not nervous during it, it's not really gonna kill many attempts, but, like, during your first few Wily attempts, it's a lot more of a problem. But the footholders are always a problem because the footholders suck. As I explained before, they have that problem where if they're moving up, you can just clip through them and take damage. It's a lot more noticeable here. And also you have to deal with the spikes on the top of the screen, so that you can't just, like, infinitely place magnet beams because you have to worry about, like, oh, can I place a magnet beam here, or will I just, like, or will I just hit the head, or will I just hit my head with the spikes and just die and lose and run? So you want to try to put them, like, low to the ground so that you don't get into that situation. And Yellow Devil. Yellow Devil is inherently a very consistent fight. It has the same thing as Elec, where it's definitely hard, don't get me wrong, but once you do it once, you can do it, like, so many times over. It is, yeah. There's really only, like, one super problematic section, and it's that one right there where there's 2 blocks. Like, there's a, like, bottom level block, there's a block right above bottom level. What I recommend doing there is, like, line up as close to the Yellow Devil as you can, then just run and jump over both of them. It makes sense so that you don't have to do, like, a weird, like, movement with how you're timing it. With how you, like, have to do, like, a small jump over the first one and then fully jump over the second. It's weird. That was what I used to do until I realized you could just jump over both of them, and that made it so much more consistent. It looks harder than it is. That's all I'm gonna say for, like, that double jump strat. And True Cycle Block. Yeah. For a while I was considering, like, also another thing to note is that I haven't used the pause glitch during this run. I just decided I didn't want to use it for, like, the extra self-imposed challenge. I was considering using it here for a while, and I just decided I might as well just do the full run without using glitches. If I'm not gonna use pause glitch for, like, every boss except Yellow Devil, I might as well just, like, cycle forward and learn Yellow Devil fully. And I did, and it was, honestly, it's surprisingly rewarding. I'd highly recommend just learning the fight straight off if you're looking at another game, instead of just treating it as pause glitch, but you do you, I just personally found it more fun. Wily 2, the start of it is kind of a mess. My strat here, I brain farted there, because my strat is only use Elec Beam for the first blader, the one that goes, like, directly under you. Because one time during an attempt, I tried using, I forgot this happened, where I just completely, like, forgot to switch from Firestorm. Because Firestorm is cut mid secondary weakness, but it does the same amount as Mega Buster, so it's, like, basically just a waste of weapon ammo. They both do 3 damage to him. So, like, the start of that fight, I just completely, like, I was trying to think about when I pause and switch the weapon menu, because you need to conserve your Firestorm for a copyright box. And I didn't want to accidentally waste any more weapon energy that I shouldn't be using. The Electric fight is basically the same thing as it is in the original stage, just, like, this time you run to the edge, and then just, like, time to there. My visual cue is, like, once he gets past that, like, red dot, like, the rightmost red dot on the, ground, Like, once he runs past there, that's when I time the first shot. The first shot is really the most difficult part of the fight. After that, it's just the same as it is in the original. And, the rest of this is basically just filler, and I think this was where my nerves started kicking in. Like, once I got to this stage, like, once I got past that electric fight, it was like, oh my god, this could actually make it to, like, Wily 4 and stuff. Not necessarily that it can make it all the way, because, it can't make it all the way, guaranteed, because, the Guts Refight can just randomly decide, hey, I don't feel like letting you no-hit this game. Fuck you. That was, I would say that was fun, but, as you'll soon learn, that didn't happen to me somehow. I just got lucky, and he let me through the first time. And I managed to close it out. I'm still kind of in shock that I didn't die to the Guts Refight at least once, but, I mean, I'll take it. It's not like I wanted to die to the RNG thingy, but I just expected to. Okay, Copy Robots. Copy Robot behaves very similarly to how Elect does. He has 3 shots where he'll shoot, and they correspond to where there's 2 tiles of the same color in the bottom room background. Like, once there's like 2, like, where there's 2 blues or 2 pinks, that's where he shoots roughly. So my strat was once he gets to like the corner where you are, after you like run in the corner and turn around, shoot him once when he's like right about to shoot to you, and once right after. As long as you time your jumps right, you should be fine. I probably could have done this with Mega Buster, just like so that I didn't have to deal with Firestorm Shield accidentally hitting me, but I just didn't feel like making it take any longer to get here. And Wily 3 is basically just like... Wily 3 is like... It's basically just a stage that's like fodder for your nerves. Like, it's not really a break. Like, it's not long enough to be a proper break, so all it's really there for is just like to let your nerves fester before Wily 4. Because Wily 4 is by far the hardest stage in this. Like, it's not even a competition. It's ridiculous how much harder it is. Like, you have to do the 2 actually, like, hard boss street fights, which are Bomb and Elec. Not Bomb and Elec, Bomb and Guts. And somehow, on my 3rd attempt, I managed to get past Wily 4. Which is even more shocking, because my first Wily 4 attempt died to the first screen because I was just too nervous. I was, like, fully expecting to die there, like, 10 plus times, but... Eh. I'll take the RNG. I really don't know what to say anymore. What? I'm commentating this? I'm commentating my fucking Mega Man 1 notes? That doesn't feel right. What? How did I do that? How did I no-hit this game? I've been going for this on and off for like about a year, and it's just starting to sink in. I did it. I don't have to play this game ever again. I've reached my goal. I no-hit a Mega Man game. What? This is like so blatantly and obviously the hardest thing I've done in a video game that like I can't even like, what? I just... What the fuck? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for not talking about the Wily 3 boss. It's pretty self-explanatory. Just mash shoots every time it comes out, and then sometimes... No, what am I saying? I just can't speak. Mash shoot for the first 3 cycles, and then after the 3rd cycle, just switch to Guts, and then throw them at it. And then you're good. Wily 4. Somehow I wasn't even like that nervous going into Wily 4. Like, I didn't have a heart rate monitor or anything, but if I had to guess, my heart rate wasn't any higher than like 140. which for only your third Wily 4 attempt was, like, pretty goddamn low. Like, I expected to be way more nervous. And my nerves did spike after a short point. Like, I was calm basically the entire run, up until literally the gut spam fight was over. That was when I just, like, all of my, like, calmness just, like, went out the window. I mean, the rest of the game is just, like, refighting the final boss, and you're gonna hear the reaction to my completion. Like, I'm not gonna commentate the final boss, just so that you can, like, hear what I was, like, saying and thinking during the fights. And just as a forewarning, please turn your volume down. Please turn your volume down once you get to the reaction. I lowered it by, like, 20 or 30 decibels, you know, in my editing software, and it's still really loud. But, like, now that we're basically at the refight, I'm just gonna take the time. Just don't. If you're watching this, you can do it. You can. I know this is a very silly video to make a comment like this on, but, like, everyone that's watching this, you're capable of doing so much with your life, whatever you want it to be. Whatever you want to do, just put your mind there. Eventually, you'll get there. I put my mind towards no hitting this game, and eventually, I got there. It took me, like, over, like, almost 70 hours of attempts, but I got there. And, as you're gonna see pretty soon, it was, like, genuinely one of the most, like, straight up euphoric feelings of my entire life. Like, just completely surreal. After I got to Guts, after I got past the Guts replay, I was like, this is real. This is real. I'm in this situation right now. What? I'm just at a loss for words. I'm just gonna let the rest of this play out. Please enjoy my reaction, and please turn your volume down just for your own sake. See you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone.
Please, 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 please. Big one. I fucking did it! Fucking actually looking at this screen right now, dude. Fucking. Actually, no fucking. It's over. 4/16/2023. 16. I did it. I actually fucking did it, dude. I am in shock. No words. No words at all describe how I feel. What the ever living fuck? Oh my god. The saga's over. The saga's over.
Thank you to everyone who helped me throughout this journey. See you next time.